friends. Welcome back to
Sorry.
Talking Tenderness with Jenna
You
and
want me?
Curtis.
You're gonna have to cut a lot of those out. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're editing this one because I've edited the past, I think, three.
I guess that's fine.
But uh, a podcast where we literally talk ourselves into circles for the internet's entertainment. And then I liked last week when we said if you're here for any real advice or seriousness, you're the wrong podcast.
Whoa. We do give some okay advice for a specific audience that already knows what they're talking about.
I feel like more just like a phone call between friends. So if you feel like you're alone or need someone to talk to, like come listen to us and you'll join right into the
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I don't know how
mean,
much like actual factual advice I give.
how much factual advice does anyone give?
None. Um, how was your week?
Um, it was not terrible.
Can you elaborate?
Um, well, I was trying to call you to go over this one because I didn't know what to do or think. But I was trying to figure out if I should apply for this position that's technically a step up, but also my manager hasn't really said anything to me about me applying for it. So I don't know if I should or not because I don't know if I can really handle getting rejected for it when it's people I work with rejecting me.
I would just put the application in.
I don't.
Like when
Yeah,
in
but then
doubt,
it, yeah, but like what if I'm just getting a promotion outside of that though in
are you?
May? I don't know. I haven't even gone over my performance eval yet. And like I said,
My
I don't know if I can handle my coworkers saying no. But we also need to fill a spot because we have an open spot. So it would just be like me moving and then they have to repost another one. So I'm like,
my
you
gut
know,
instinct is never shoot yourself short. Like if you feel like you can do the position, just apply and then if you get rejected, okay, they know you're open for that type of role, or that they know you're looking for a higher level.
the thing is, it is my job. It's just a different title for my job.
Does that title make a difference on a resume?
I mean, I don't know if I want to leave this in. It's recruiter versus employment specialist, so really it's up in the air as to what it actually does.
Yeah, I would say just apply. Just like I don't we can't think of rejection as like you're failing. Just think of the rejection like they maybe don't see you're in that role right now, but they know that you're willing to get a promotion or like you want to take the next steps in your career, which is really important.
Yeah.
Also, the day you texted me that, I was in back-to-back meetings all day long. That's why I didn't answer.
Oh, I mean, I get it.
But I say apply. I mean, it's the definition of like what's the worst that can happen. They tell you no.
Yeah, but it's just like I don't know. In my head, it's different with the people that you work with on a day-to-day basis telling you no versus someone else.
Yeah, I don't know. I truly think by them telling you no, it still puts in their head that you're willing to take a
But
role like that.
they wouldn't
They
like.
would.
Well,
It would be looked at like if I applied for a I don't know. Right now at BSA, if I applied for a project manager position, they would look at me and be like, "Oh, this is the step she wants to take. Let's see how we can get her there faster."
I don't think that's how that would work here.
Well, it should, and you never know what they're thinking, so I would say apply and just don't tell anyone.
Not tell who? My manager who does the first round of interviews, the interim department
No,
manager who also does the.
don't spread it around your coworkers. Like let
Oh, you mean who do the
apply and
second
then
round of interviews?
I just think you're thinking too much about it and you should
I
just
probably
apply.
am.
It
But
probably comes with a pay
I don't
raise
know.
too.
I do believe it does.
So just make that your incentive. There's no
Anyway,
harm in applying. Oh, anyway,
how
is that
was
the
your
only
week?
crazy thing?
That's it.
Um,
My week's been pretty bland.
yeah, I feel like so I had a workshop. I had another workshop this week. So two
Hmm.
days out of my week was a 9 to 5 class. One second. Part of my week was a like quite literally 9 to 5:30 class about like a project management methodology, um,
Hmm.
which was nice. Was also just exhausting. Um, and then outside of that, it was just playing catch up with the work that you were missing being in the class. So
Did they
yeah,
tell
I don't know.
you we're not empathetic this time?
No, but they were all joking about it because it came out. And then at the end, it was like different leadership styles, and it asked me like which ones I think I can strengthen and weaken, and one of them was like emotional competence, and I put that on my like thing that I can strengthen that I'm not strong in, and they were like, "You're the one that said you're the one that's test scores came back that you weren't empathetic and yada yada yada," and but the way they described emotional competence, I think I could have um, it's like what I've been saying, like I don't make decisions with emotion, and in some cases, like that's what you're supposed to do. And I said in those situations, like I am weak in that stance. I don't take emotion into play. I take facts. So I think that is a weakness. And then my boss yelled from across the room, and he was like, she is very self-aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. I am in like a lull right now where it's like everyone's talking about what do you do and do you have any hobbies and stuff, and it's like I work and I eat and I sleep and I work out, and that's roughly it.
Yeah, I don't have much going on either.
It took me 2 hours to get to work on Tuesday.
2 hours?
2 hours. I left my house at 6:45, and I left my house at 6:50, and I walked into the office at 8:45. It was like one of those days where I don't understand traffic. Theoretically, if there's not a car accident, there should be no traffic. If everyone's moving at the right pace and you're just driving, why are we stuck in bumper to bumper and then in the middle of nowhere it all clears up and everyone starts moving? It makes no sense. But I did it to myself, and I usually turn my GPS on in the morning because I just like to know where the traffic is, and I didn't
Hmm.
because I was thinking that I knew how to get to work, and I got stopped in bumper to bumper, and it took me 25 minutes to go 2 miles. And then I turned off because I was like I can't be on this highway anymore if it's bumper to bumper. And then when I turned off, pure luck
It
that I
was
get stopped at a stoplight that's not working, that only my lane is red for another 15 minutes. And I was like too close to the cars in front of me to be able to K-turn out of it. So
I really thought you were gonna say it was worse.
I mean, stopped dead watching a stoplight that was red was pretty bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, 2 hours. I had to take a meeting from the car, and then I walked into the office and essentially went straight to my workshop, and I was supposed to get there an hour early to do work. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
that
know.
sounds like fun.
Yeah, I've been watching hockey a lot recently. I think I talked about it last week, but it's like actually kicked into gear. I want to talk about two things on this topic. So I was talking to one of my guy friends the other night, and we talked for like 3.5 hours. But we were talking about women that like sports, and he said it's a turn off when a woman enjoys sports. And I was like, maybe that's why I'm single, because that's all my life is.
Um, I mean, I see it. I think it
It
kind of depends on like
yeah,
the how into it they are.
he was like, so one of our friends is like a sports major and she wants to make it her career, and he was like, it's intimidating because she knows more about the sports and the statistics than I do, so it's like super intimidating to talk about it in front of her. And then I was like, a lot of the people I talk to, like I know more, like for example football, I rattle statistics off and stuff because I like watch it on TV, and I have like essentially almost a good memory when it comes to that stuff. So when I watch it, I memorize it, and then when I talk about it, I know my facts. And now I'm like, do I seem intimidating because I know what I'm talking about? I don't know. He said
Yeah,
yes, and I was very
that
upset
one's
about
not
it.
a that's not a question for me.
Yeah.
I'm not into sports like that.
And then my
I'm
other
not
thing,
the
so I've been watching hockey, and when I started playing soccer when I was, I don't know how old I was, like 7, 6, 7, when I started playing on like the big fields,
Mhm.
um, my my parents bribed me with scoring goals. For every goal you scored, you got a Webkins. And I remember I left the
Webkins.
game and I was like, I scored 6 goals, but 3 of them were offsides or something. And I could not figure out for the life of me what offsides was as my little 6-year-old self. So I went to my mom's work and we were talking about it. And oh my God, I'm breaking out in hives. That's why I'm so itchy. We were talking about it, and her coworker explained offsides, but in hockey terms.
Mhm.
And now I watch hockey and I'm like, it made so much more sense when he was explaining it in hockey terms because it's not like soccer offsides. Isn't that funny? Ha 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 ha.
I don't
We're
understand
we're
hockey
both dull.
offsides.
It's like it's essentially the same thing as soccer where it's like they have to be on a certain side of a line until the ball's played. It's not the ball, it's a puck. But
Oh.
yeah, but yeah, that like led me down a huge rabbit hole about sports and like growing up with, did your parents do sports? I'm on
Mhm.
a rampage spiraling down a hole, but oh, your parents did?
Yeah. My dad almost played in college.
Basketball?
Baseball.
Oh. Did they play
He
basketball though?
Yeah, they both played basketball.
Did they do track?
Nope.
So
I don't think they had track.
did you have to essentially teach them track and field?
Um I mean, my dad kind of learned it with me. I don't think it's that hard to learn.
Yeah.
He learned it and then he was the coach. So, I mean, quick turnaround.
Yeah, well that's what I was thinking about, how like as parents, you really would like my parents did not know anything about soccer, and then when we started enjoying it, they picked it up and my dad coached it and we got into like super involved, and now he watches it and it's like his life. And I was like, as
Mhm.
parents, it's kind of crazy how you really have to watch what your kids like, and then your hobbies have to become what they like.
Yeah.
That like boggled my whole life, how like that how you really your kids, you think your kids run your life and then they run your hobbies as well.
Yeah, kids are just great, you know. You don't have to come up with anything.
Except for them. Quite literally grow them in my womb.
I'm not gonna. I'm
one of
just
the
gonna
one
stop
of the
there at that.
women one of the women I work with is pregnant, and I like cannot grasp the concept of like her having a child in her stomach. She's like visibly pregnant, so
Yeah.
it's not weird, but like she walked in a dress and her stomach was there and I was like, "Oh my God, there's a thing in that stomach."
Did you like stare at it, walk over and like poke it? Do you like the? Is that real?
No. No, but I did have the urge to poke it because I just want to see, like, at one point she was pressing on it and it literally looked like her stomach folded in. And I was like, "Uh, what?" Because,
You
like,
know,
essentially half of it's hollow. Because where the
yeah, I
kid
guess the
isn't
top
is,
half would be.
well, the kid moves around it.
Well, yeah, but the kid's only in like the bottom half, right?
No, the kid moves all around it. At one point, the kid's foot was poking out of the top of her stomach. And I was like, that is so foreign, and I think I might vomit. Like, I'm so. The idea of kids is just not it for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, please no.
What was I was thinking about? Hold on. Oh, that's a wave. Um,
It sounded like you were crying when
sorry.
you just coughed.
Yeah, I was thinking about kids too. I don't remember what I was thinking about kids.
That they, in the famous wise words of someone I went to college with, all they do is eat, sleep, and shit and take your money.
Well, obviously, but if some, I think it was like I don't want kids yet. was something I was thinking about. But I don't
Yeah.
know, man. Kids are I'm too young to think about kids.
I was thinking about how fun it would be to have a kid because so we bring my dad coffee sometimes down to the boat, and I was
Hmm.
like, it'd be so fun if I had like a daughter that I could like they could be like in my like bring my dad coffee at the boat and stuff, and my dad's like talking about retirement. So I was like, it's so sad that like my kids might not be able to do that. And then I was like, Jenna, you're 24. You do not need to be thinking about having a kid right now. And then
Yeah.
there's people our age that have like 6-year-olds, and I'm like, oh my God, please,
Whoa,
gosh,
whoa, whoa,
no.
whoa, 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 whoa. The kids our age who have 6-year-olds
Yeah,
are
if they had kids at
different.
18, they're
I'm
6.
aware. I'm just saying they're different.
Do you want to know another thing? Again, this is chaotic. Another thing that I saw a TikTok that was like high school in 2013.
No, I saw that too. I just saw that this morning, and I was like
Curtis,
the second one I saw, and I
Curtis,
was like, "That's not real. It's not real."
I literally texted my friends that are still in college, and I was like, "Am I that old? Like, am I that old that there should that and the nostalgia TikToks are from when I was a freshman in high school?
We weren't freshmen in 2013.
We were freshmen in 2014. Eighth grade and freshman year is like basically the same thing. Some high schools have eighth graders in the high school.
What I don't like, and I thought about it this morning when I watched it, I don't like that I have a memory of a time where the camera quality does not match my memory.
Yeah.
I don't like looking at a video, seeing, oh, like looking at it and I'd be like, ah, that's from like 2003,
Yeah, and
2005,
it's actually when we were in high school.
2013. You lived that, and I'm like, no, no, that can't be real. It didn't look like that.
But
It looked
also, I
clear.
watch it back and I'm like, that doesn't look abnormal. Like, what is the nostalgia
No,
in that? Isn't that just normal high school? And then I realized that that is not what high school looks like now.
no,
But
it's
for
not.
me, it's like, that's just normal high schoolers.
Yeah, no, that is.
I also get the
I've
TikToks that
seen a
are
couple
like,
of those.
yeah, I'm on all nostalgia TikTok. But I also see the TikToks that are like them asking high schoolers where were you going to be in 5 years? Who thought of doing that? We didn't have that in my high school.
Mm-mm.
And if you would have asked me where I would be in 5 years, I would have said, like, I think my 5-year goal as a senior was graduate college and, sorry, graduate college and move to a big city. And I am 6 years out, and I'm living in my same bedroom that I grew up in.
Yeah, isn't it great?
Yeah, wait one
I
sec. I have to research something.
like
Thermal
stop
gas.
talking 1 sec or like
No, you can still talk.
um that's gonna be really easy to cut out. Those waves are just huge and just and done. Um, so I went on a couple of walks. The weather's been really nice, and so I've been like walking outside more. It's really good. Oh, also, you said no gym or anything, but I'm gonna say trump that because I weighed myself yesterday for the first time in like 2 weeks, week and a
Mhm.
half, something like that.
Mhm.
I am down to 220.
Really?
That may not be out of context a lot. However, I did start at like 228 at the beginning of the year.
Oh, wow.
So I'm happy. I'd still like to go down a little bit more. I think like
Yeah.
220 is like my like one of my bigger goals. 218 is like a really nice place that I'd like to be. I'd like to be under 220. My head was like
If
180,
you give
but
yourself 218, you're not going to consistently stay under 220. Weight fluctuates.
yeah.
If you want to be consistently under 220, you would do 215. 218,
Yeah,
your
my dad
weight's
said
going to fluctuate out to 220.
yeah. My dad said lose 6 more pounds, then I'll have to lose some weight. And I was like, okay.
Interesting.
So now 214 might be a goal.
Yeah. My hormones are all wacky right now, so my weight is like all over the place. I kind of messed up my hormones.
I I don't want to touch
What?
that topic. I'm just not gonna.
Why?
I don't know how to talk about that.
That's a weird comment. It's just normal. Your
Is
weight
it?
fluctuate. Yeah, your weight fluctuate.
Well,
Man or
I was staying away from the part where
man.
you said I messed them up.
Oh no, I did. I I
That's
started
the part I
taking
was staying away
I
from.
started taking a weird pack of multivitamins, and the minute I started
No,
taking them, my weight went up 10 pounds.
that's not where I thought that was gonna go.
Birth control? No,
Yeah,
no,
that's why I wasn't touched. That's why I wasn't gonna say
um,
anything.
no. I took a weird pack of multivitamins, and the minute I started taking them, I went up 10 pounds. So now I'm taking like a reverse one to even out my hormone, and then I stopped taking the other ones. But I also started training for a half marathon, so hopefully that helps a lot too.
Did you say a reverse vitamin?
It's not a reverse vitamin, it's a hormone helper. So it's this thing that like
Oh,
if you it's called PCOS, but
hmm.
it's like a disease thing. But it helps your PCOS even out your hormones, so that's what I'm taking now. Um but I started training for a half marathon and I'm on week 4, I think. And every Saturday, Sunday is my longer run,
Hmm.
but every week they're getting, as silly as it sounds, longer. And now I'm like, I had to
Oh,
do 3 today, and next week I have to do 4 miles. And I thought it was going to be easy for the first couple, and it's not.
yeah, running's not fun or easy.
I think it's more mentally hard than anything else.
Yeah, I get that. It just seems so boring.
Yeah, I listened to Big Booty on replay. I actually kind of want to see Two Friends in concert just
I'd go to
because
Two
I
Friends
think I'm
concert.
Big Booty's number one listener.
Okay,
I listen to Big
sure.
Booty for at least 2.5 hours every day right now.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I started listening to quote house music um
Like
only
standard
because
party music?
no, like the genre of house music.
Shall Google.
Some of it is party music. Um,
How'd you find this one?
so there's a TikTok that goes around every now and then I hear it and I love it because it takes me back to like high school late nights playing GTA 5 and just like listening to one of the best radio stations, nonstop pop, which there's a huge fight about what the best radio station was in GTA 5, and my favorite was nonstop pop, and it just so happened that the nonstop pop radio DJ was Cara Delvine.
She's a DJ?
She was the quote unquote DJ, not like the actual DJ, but
Oh,
she's like
the special guest.
the host.
Okay.
But she wasn't Cara Delvine in it. It was just her who did the voice. And I'm gonna say Cara, but I don't. I'm gonna be wrong saying Cara. I'm 90% sure it's Cara. And she has this line that comes up at the beginning of like a remix, and there's two of them. The one's for Lady by Mojo, and the other one is it's about time you love something that loves you back, something like that. And that is house music. And then it goes into a song that's really good, and I'll send it to you later.
Yeah, I just looked at
I'm
the
like,
house music playlist and I know none of the songs.
you absolutely do know some of the songs because I've listened to a bunch of them, and Wasted's on there, and you absolutely know Wasted.
What is Wasted?
I like us better when we're wasted.
Oh, that's just party music.
Yeah, it's party music, but there's also like other stuff that's just it's just the vibe of it.
Isn't that just Big Booty?
Yeah, but it's not remixed
Oh.
and not like spliced up. So I don't know. I like it. I've found a couple of good songs. Um, I don't know where I was going with that, other than I've just been adding new music. My music taste has been all over the place recently,
Yeah, I'm really
but I
on
love
a
it.
Olivia Rodrigo. I said last week Renee Rapp, Taylor Swift kick right now, which is hard because my whole what's it
Being
called?
was Taylor Swift.
No, my whole being was that I like country music, and now when people ask me like my favorite current country song, I do not have an answer. My
So
answer's
like when you,
hmm
yeah,
No, you're good.
no, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say my answer is usually I juggle between some songs.
Yeah, no, that's what I do. That's my answer because at least with people I work with, they go, oh, what are you listening to? And I go, um, I pull it up and it's something like, uh, what's it, what's one on here? I'm blanking because I want to find one that's funny. Where is it? Anything good? No, they know child. All right, I'd say something like "Trophies" by Young Money.
Can you?
That's like Young Money and Drake, and they'd look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, I would probably like you like you're crazy too. I don't know song
But
titles.
you
How
know
does
the
that one
songs.
go?
Trophies?
Yeah.
Ain't no envelopes to open. I just do it because I'm supposed to.
Yeah, I don't know that one. But it sounds
I'm not
familiar.
singing it, but you'd know it if you heard it. It's Drake.
Oh, okay. I'm not a big Drake
But
fan.
like,
I probably would get hate for that, but if I
no,
said
that's
that of
fair.
anyone, but
I'm not as big of a Drake fan.
yeah, I'm not a fan
Um,
of him at all.
the baby. If I say the baby, half of my coworkers look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah. My coworkers are older, so they talk about things from like the 90s. And not that I consider us as 90, like we could be considered 90s babies. We're right on the cusp. Like
Yeah.
someone that was born in 99 grew up the exact same way we grew up in 2000.
Mhm.
But that doesn't make me knowing anything about the 90s. So they talk about it and I'm like, "Uh-huh. Uh-huh." But I'm also the girl that like didn't know exactly who Prince was until he died. So
He's saying Purple Rain. That's about all I know.
wait 1 second, I have to sit up. Oh my God, I was laying down. Um Ow, I'm like falling apart here. That's all I knew. And when he died, I had a Keith Urban concert that night, and they sang
Mhm.
Purple Rain, and me and my older sister left during it because we didn't actually know the song.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, no, I think like the oldest young person I work with, because there's two people who I would never expect to know anything that I'm talking about. The one's close to retirement, and the other one's retired 3 times. Um, everyone else is 35 and younger,
Yeah.
and 35 I think is too old for some people. I think only, not including the two older people who are like retired or close to retiring, only one of my coworkers has a kid. Only two of them are married, not including the other two. Like it's a very young group of people,
Yeah.
relatively. And when I say things like the baby, and someone who was in high school at the same time as us looks at me like I'm crazy,
I would
I
probably
don't know how to feel
I would
about
probably
that.
look at you like you're crazy too because I couldn't name one song from him. The only reason I know him is my younger sister used to listen to his music, and I refused to listen to it in my car.
You're not going baby on baby.
No.
Um, before we forget again, and before I have to dread another week, do you want to do the thing now?
No, because we're 35 minutes in.
Oh, it's like a whole hour?
Yeah.
Oh, we could make this a really long episode.
No.
No. Man, I gotta dread another week. By the time we actually do mine, it's gonna be time to do yours.
My birthday's next week. It's not next week. Yeah, my birthday's next week.
Yeah, it is. It's Saturday.
Well, technically, it's still like 13 days away, so it's in 2 weeks, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Man.
I'm blocking out my calendar currently.
Well, what are you doing?
I have, I was like, I don't know, I just decided to be a social person and I RSVP'd yes to a wedding from someone we went to high school with, nope, college with, and
Who?
one of my sorority sisters that lives out near
Oh.
you. Um, she's getting married.
She's getting married.
Yeah. And
Wow.
so I
I
said,
think is what I'm thinking about.
yeah. So then I said I would go, but it's the weekend after JT, which is our college meet. And I just, I should have said no. I don't know. I also want to go to like a hockey game, but my mom is out of commission for a while, so we're like taking turns taking care of her. So me and my dad can't go, and I just won't go to a game by myself. So I'm trying to figure out my
Yeah.
weekends and figure out my life, but none of it is really coming together.
When is JT?
Also, I hate my life for the fact that every weekend in April I'm in central Pennsylvania.
Good, it's in April. Got it.
Yeah.
I have no other information.
Well, I'm not going to say it on here. You can Google it.
Again, you're right. Alright, well now I gotta cut it out.
Do you think going back to, I'm going to say college or high school because I feel like high school counts as well. If you have,
Hmm.
like, let's say you were a, oh my God, let's say you were a sophomore in college and you had friends that were seniors in high school, or you're our age now and you have friends that are seniors in college. Is it weird to go back for their senior day?
Um,
They're your close friends.
I don't think it's weird to support your friends.
That's what I said, but I was like questioned by people because they said it's weird, but like it's three of my close friends' senior day. Why wouldn't I go back?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think people are just mean.
So 4 consecutive weekends?
Technically
I know
three.
2 of them.
It's the first weekend, well, the first weekend of April, the second week of April, and then the weekend of the 26th, I'm going to State College for a concert.
It's in State College.
Penn State.
I said who?
My best friend surprised me with tickets to a concert there.
You're gonna make me go Google who's playing in State College on the
Well,
last weekend of
Luke
April.
Combs.
You already gave the location and the date. Giving me the
Well, I didn't know
person's
how much
not.
you're gonna cut this out. I don't know if this is
Do you want
exciting
me to cut all of it out?
information. I don't know.
I mean, you're going to a concert. Is that not
My
exciting?
favorite thing is how women's soccer is starting to fight like hockey, and I think that is so funny. Like in the game, they started like sizing each other up, and soccer is not a sport that you're supposed to fight in, but the fact that it's the women doing it, it's hysterical.
I'd like to see fights.
Me too.
I think sports need more fights.
I like the rule in hockey where it's like, if it's a fair duel, let it happen. Like if it's warranted,
Yeah,
drop the gloves and let them fight. That's like one of the fun parts about watching hockey is it's so aggressive. They said it in football too. Like if you listen to the Kelsey's podcast, they're like, let us fight once a game. Just one giant brawl, and then it gets all the testosterone out, and then you just keep going.
yeah, I agree.
Maybe not in
I'd
like,
like to.
I would say not in a sport like basketball or like baseball, but soccer, football, and hockey, I feel like are aggressive enough that it's warranted.
I agree.
I just brought that up to my parents, and they
Maybe.
were like, if we let you get
I
into
was
a
gonna say
fist.
track.
No. If we were allowed to fist fight in track, oh my god, our team would have fought Moravian every meet.
They would have. I don't know how that would have ended,
Um,
but it
our
it
senior
would have
year,
happened.
certain teams started doing smelling salts, And now the people that were mad at those teams for doing smelling salts do smelling salts.
Why would you get mad at someone for doing smelling
It
salts?
was because they were saying it was like unfair, which I get it.
Go get smelling salts.
Have you ever tried smelling salts?
Uh, I have smelled them, yes, because we had them in the weight room.
I was always too scared. The idea of those little particles getting stuck to my brain scared me.
You sound like my mother.
Yeah, well, we both enjoy our brains and
You
smelling.
no no. You sound like my mother telling me not to use a prescription shampoo because it will go through my scalp and through my skull and into my brain.
See, I'm not that crazy. Smelling salts, you're sniffing into a hole that is connected to your brain with the purpose of essentially giving yourself a minuscule high.
Yeah, I watched a whole video about guys trying the strongest smelling salts. It was funny.
No, thank you. Like, I can't. I saw a video of someone just like sniffing them, and their whole body was like, and like they went into a shock. Not an actual shock, but like almost.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do smelling salts. I never did smelling salts. I didn't really like. I didn't even do pre-workout. But I love watching people do smelling salts.
I did an obscene amount of pre workout.
I'm aware. I watched you do the pre-workout.
Yeah, I was like double scooping. I would consider it an addiction. I, with my chest, could say I had an addiction to pre workout in college. Because I would, A, dry scoop it, which I still think is the most efficient way of taking pre workout. Um, I would dry scoop it, chase it with coffee, and then do an extra half a scoop in my water.
What?
Yeah. On meet days, that's what we would do.
That's that's insane.
And like we never did it properly. Like you should do it like 30 minutes before you throw and all of that. And we would like dry scoop it. I guess we did do it 30 because we would do it before warm-ups. But yeah, I was just always cracked out on caffeine, which makes sense if you knew me in college.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, it does.
Yeah. And now I don't do any of that and I only have 2 cups of coffee a day. Honestly, maybe that's why I'm always so tired because I'm just not used to being at the normal level.
Could be.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to quit caffeine.
I would never I will never quit coffee. Ever. I drink 1 cup in the morning. That's roughly it. And then sometimes it pick me up at like 3 o'clock, but that's like every other day. Yeah.
Yeah. I I don't do caffeine. I'm proud of that one.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's like a really good thing.
Oops, I was unaware. Yeah, no, I mean I've never had a reason to. I've never been that drop dead tired.
Have you ever lucky? Have you ever seen the Zin? Have you ever seen the Zins? That's like the worst
Zins?
statement ever. Have you seen the Zins on TikTok?
Yeah, I'm aware of a nice little Zinachino.
So they actually had them when I went to school last semester, and I didn't try them
Mhm.
because I'm not a nicotine addict to that level. Um,
Fiend.
but I saw someone say that if you don't like nicotine while all of your friends are taking Zins, get a piece of caffeinated gum because it does the same thing. But so I considered it. I was like, that makes sense because I could be off my wire on caffeine while they're off theirs on nicotine. But then I was like, I can't buy
Mm.
a whole pack of caffeinated gum and not chew it like a normal gum, if that makes any sense.
No, I know. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Um,
But apparently Zins
yeah,
are
no,
super duper wacky.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about them.
When I was back at school, they all wanted Zins and all I wanted was pizza. So we were at like the bar on the outside of town and we walked all the way across town and I went and got a full 2 pies of pizza and they walked to the gas station and got Zins. And then, because I was assuming that everyone else was hungry because they were talking about going to half app. So I was like, oh, I'll get everyone pizza. And then we brought it to the house and only 2 of us ate pizza and the rest of them just sat
Yeah,
on
they had
Zins.
Zins. They had a nice little upper decky.
I like don't get it, but
I don't get Zins. I don't. I mean, I get people who do Zins. I just like all the funny stuff about it, like George Washington,
like it's like the Borg all over
Abraham
again.
Lincoln. Oh yeah, it's great.
The Borgs are making a comeback. I don't know if they ever went out, but
I,
I might just be old.
you know, I did see I forget if it was Instagram, on like one of the Barstool accounts or on TikTok. I did see a whole bunch of like funny board names.
Yeah, I did see that as well for St. Patty's Day.
Something like that. It was like a pirate party.
Oh, I don't know that one. That might have been Tampa for like their pirate event.
Could have been. It was either that or Penn State.
Yeah, Penn State would have been State Patty's Day. Sorry, I like blanked on the name of it. I was gonna say something. Oh, when I went to a NASCAR race, so some NASCAR tracks are bring your own alcohol. So like if you
Hmm.
bring an unopened container of vodka, you can bring it into the stadium. So we were at the event and people were walking around with Borgs, and my dad was like, "Wow, all of these kids are so hydrated." And I was like, "No, Dad, they are not hydrated."
I hate when my mom asks me a question about something and I'm like explaining to her and then she goes, "Did you ever drink?" No, mom.
I say,
Nope.
"Yeah." I was at the point when he asked that I was sipping on a tall boy White Claw.
Yeah, no. I think I am done though. Like I'm outside of like maybe
Social events?
like a soup, not even social, like a super like random, like going to a friend's wedding.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm done.
Really? I don't
Yeah.
know. I enjoy a
I
nice
just
glass of wine, so I would not give it up.
I'm just at the point I don't get it anymore.
That's fair.
Like
I don't
I don't do it enough
I
where
don't
it's
drink to
like,
get drunk. I
yeah.
drink to enjoy a nice glass of rosé.
So like you like
Oh, I
rosé.
love wines. I love it.
Like the only thing that I would like is a vodka Sprite or a vodka
Mm-mm.
lemonade because those are just the drinks that I liked. But at that point, just have Sprite or lemonade.
Yeah. Like I like if I'm at like when me and my friend wow, I just stuttered over like 7 words. Deep breath. When my friend came to visit me, we did like a bunch of nice dinners, and the one night like we got oysters and we got wine with the oysters, or we went to New York and we got mimosas with our breakfast, or we did like espresso martinis at like a nice coffee shop, and like I liked those. I liked drinking that way, but
Yeah, like
I don't
stuff like
drink to
that
get
I would
drunk.
do. But yeah, like if it's some like event, but I'm not like we're going to a happy hour this month at some point in time. I'm like I'm not gonna drink at that. That's just
Yeah,
that I don't
at
want to drink at
at
a
happy
happy hour.
hours I get 1 glass of wine and I'll nurse it, and then if I decide to go for a second, it has to be within like I have to be leaving over an hour later. If I'm not leaving within the hour, I refuse to get two glasses of wine.
Yeah, I just don't.
Because especially in like my field, um,
Yeah,
a lot of people drink and a lot of people drink hard liquor. So if I get a glass of wine, there's no obligation to keep up with anyone, but it's like, oh, she has
yeah.
one. Because if you don't have one, someone will buy you one.
At our happy hours, we're basically not allowed to buy drinks. So
Hmm.
hold on, let me rephrase that. We drink. I had at our last happy hour in the span of hour and a half, um, 6 drinks total.
But other people buy them.
So it basically ended up with I had one, or sorry, I had one which I think was a double because I was basically told to get a double. Then I got a second drink because we were told to get a second drink because we were told that we could have a second drink. And then my coworker didn't want to finish hers, which was also a double, so she handed it to me
Oh, I remember you
because she didn't
telling
want to
me
finish it.
this.
And she
Yeah.
goes, "Here, yeah, that story." So, and nobody paid for drinks because the boss has covered them, and it's like I hate that. Just stop. But I'm like, I don't know. I don't need to do that. That does not. I don't get anything out of it.
Yeah. I just like I said, I enjoy a nice glass of wine. But one of my coworkers says the same
Yeah.
thing. Like he gave up alcohol for a while, 'cause he was doing like January dry.
Mhm.
But he was like, if I'm not drinking to get drunk, then there's no worry, like because I only drink to get drunk. And so he gave it up for like 50 something days because he didn't have that extra factor. But he was saying that there's no purpose of drinking unless you're getting drunk. And I was like, I disagree. I think there's like a good healthiness about having like one drink. Now, I'm not talking about like having a vodka because I don't think I don't think I could easily drink hard liquor and be okay, but if I'm just like sitting at dinner, I'm going to have a glass of wine.
Yeah, I mean, like I
Except on my birthday, I might get a fun drink on my birthday, but usually I just do wine.
like if I liked wine or if I liked beer, that's a completely
Mhm.
different story. Like I could have a glass of wine or a beer, but I don't like beer and I'm not huge into wine. So it's like what's the point for me?
Yeah, that's fair.
So I was like I actually just I said like the other week I was like, you know what? I'm done. I don't see a reason to. I'm not going to. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Honestly, a lot of hard liquors don't sit well in my stomach either. I don't know if I've admitted in this podcast, but I'm like a religious pull trigger, so if I'm drinking, I'm probably pulling trig, and I think it like every time I have to do that, it's because I'm drinking vodka.
That wouldn't make
And
sense.
like I spent forever drinking vodka, so it might just be like my body's natural instinct to it. But it never happens that I'm drinking wine or whiskey or tequila. It's just vodka, and then rum makes me sleepy. Like if I drink rum, I'm like ready for bed.
Everything makes me sleepy.
Well, alcohol is a sedative.
Hmm. Now, I might have a glass of wine if we go to dinner after happy
Hmm.
hour, but that's like at a sit down restaurant. That's like nice. I might get a glass of wine, but
Yeah. It's also just maturing and
I'm
realizing you
not
don't
gonna
want to
like.
binge drink, which is okay.
I don't even know if I want to drink at all.
I wouldn't if you haven't made up your mind on whether you want whether your what your limitations are for it. I wouldn't stick with saying I never drink because either if you do drink, you'll feel internally guilty
I'm
about it and or people will start saying, "Curtis, I thought you didn't drink." And then it's like it becomes your reputation.
I'm not gonna drink in situations where it's just drinking.
Mhm.
Like when we go bowling next week, I probably won't drink.
Yeah.
Like that's just not that's a situation where it's like, all right, everybody's kind of like having a good handful of drinks, but I'm like, I don't, I'm not drinking to get
Yeah.
drunk.
That's fair.
I'm gonna go back to music for a second because I forgot about bringing this up then, which made more sense, but also kind of makes sense now. Um, every now and then I'll hear like party
Mhm.
music, like songs that I know we've heard at parties, and like bring back that like feeling of being in a dark room with like colorful lights.
Mhm.
In my head, there's just a specific feeling for it, and every now and then I miss it. I know I don't. Like I know
Like
if
when
you
you
were to
hear
put me
the
back in
song
that situation,
All Night Longer and it's like, "Oh my God, I remember dancing to this song in Pie Cap." Yeah,
yeah, like any of the
absolutely.
song, any like party song, anything like that, I'm like, you know what? I miss that like
It's
house
the
party,
nostalgia.
like,
Back to that word.
oh, I know, And I'm like, you know what? I miss it. I'd like to go back to it.
I like
But I know as soon as I go back to it, I'm done. I don't want to be
Yeah, I don't
there.
know if I would want to go, like, if I could travel back in time, I don't know if I would want to go back to the parties per se, but I would like to go back to, like, the I don't give an F mindset that I was in.
I agree.
Like, we would just stumble around campus at all hours of the night and not think twice. Like, the law had no abide to us. And I wish I could go back to that mindset sometimes because now I think too much about it. But I don't want to go back to like the
I
smelly
agree with
frat
that.
parties that you couldn't use the bathroom and that there was people making out on the walls. No, thank you.
No, I don't want to go back to frat parties. I'd go back to like the pre-frat parties.
I still wouldn't even go back to those.
I don't disagree either. Like I know the second I would be put back into that situation, be like, get me out of here. I don't want to be
Hmm.
here after like 5 minutes. But I miss the dark room with colorful lights and loud music.
Yeah. Cur-
That's all I
Curtis
want.
mimics a frat party in his basement by putting up LED lights and speakers.
Nah, it's too big,
Yeah.
too open.
Well, now I walk into like the apartments on our campus and I'm like, oh my God, we used to fit all of those people in this little thing.
Pre-games. Pre-games too were just like that's another
I
thing I miss.
actually,
You know what it is?
I actually hated all
I miss
pre-games.
people. That's I understand it, but I miss people.
That's fair.
I miss being like 5 minutes from anybody I wanted to talk to or hang out with.
Yeah, that I do miss.
Not that it really mattered senior year, but
Yeah, that I do miss. Oh, do you got anything else
um, it depends.
on?
If you want to like go deep into something, or if you just want to like kind of call it.
What do you want to go deep in?
Well, it's just a note I have for if we ever need something to talk
Okay.
about. Um, it's a TikTok I had seen. Oh, when did I see it? Um, last month. Just talking about how there's a whole bunch of people in our generation who just feel like they're
Mhm.
unlovable. I don't know. That one
Can you elaborate on
brings.
it more? Like,
I don't know how to. I don't know how to elaborate on it. It was
I
just
don't
like
think anyone is actually unlovable. I think it's a mindset that people put
I don't
themselves in.
either.
And I think when people think they're unlovable, um they actually shut themselves down to being loved. Like it's something that you're doing to yourself. It's not what other people are putting you in. And I think it's placing the blame on people's loneliness and singleness on other people instead of holding yourself accountable, which is really aggressive way to put it. Like right now
No, I get
I
what you're
consider
saying.
myself unlovable, but it's not because other people are saying I'm unlovable. It's because I shut myself off to that type of affection.
See, I was saying that I'm unlovable again, not because I'm blaming other people, just because I don't think I'm at a point yet where I could be. Like I'm not trying to put blame on someone else.
Yeah,
I'm put like I'm
you
blaming myself
can't
for
be
it.
because it's in your control. You're not at a point where
Right.
you think you can be loved, which makes you unlovable.
Right.
But I think a lot of the TikToks I see on it, they're like, it's saying
I don't know. I'll send this one to
what?
you. I said I'll
Yeah,
send this one to
it's
you
like saying
because
the TikToks that I see for it, it's like saying that how do I put it nicely? They're saying that like our generation's too picky and that we choose that there's a certain group of people that we're just like not gonna ascend like I'm gonna use the term swipe right on, but like that's like what it would be. And I don't think that is the case. I think we as a generation need to hold ourselves accountable. And if you're feeling lonely or you're feeling not loved or you're feeling like you're not in that part of like your adulthood yet. It's because you're not putting yourself in the situation that you're around people in the situation where you can be loved in a situation like that. Like it's not easy to open yourself up to love. Does that make sense or does that sound
Yeah.
confusing?
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Um,
Is there a closed caption on this?
oh, no.
It's also in a different language.
What, the thing I sent you? There's no way it's in a different language. I mean, she's not American, but she's speaking English just with an accent. I also always get these at like midnight.
I'm gonna have to watch it later because she has really loud music going on in the background and I can't hear it. But it's
Yeah,
also
I
the
could care
caption
less
is
later.
in French.
Huh?
Yes.
Did I? Hold on.
The caption says Je te lasse des mots.
Oh, this doesn't have a caption for me.
Yeah, it's in French. But also a lot of that whole
Um,
unlovable thing, if you went to therapy, that would be talked about in therapy.
yeah, I mean, she more was saying that everybody feels like they're unlovable. It feels like they're unlovable, not
But
that
I
they
also think
are.
it's that's the definition of loneliness. I can go on for this
Yeah.
forever. Like unlovable isn't unlovable is a term that places the blame on other people. Whereas if you say I'm
Hmm.
lonely, it's holding the accountability that like you're alone in your life right now. Whereas saying you're unlovable, you're unless you're talking about loving yourself, to be loved, you need to be with another person. So you're saying that nobody is willing to love you. It's placing the blame on other people. Just say
Yeah.
I'm lonely.
I mean, she does. I remembering it a bit more. She does talk about she's lonely.
Yeah, I just hate the term unlovable.
She's, I believe, if I remember it, she starts off talking about how she's lonely, and then something, something, something goes on to talk about whatever. But I don't know. It was one of those ones that I saw late at
It
night
gets
as
you
I
in your
was like
feels.
half asleep. I was half asleep, and that's what TikTok does to me when I'm half asleep. It always hits me with the saddest
Yeah.
things about anything, and I'm like, you need to stop, but I can't because I'm about to cry because of you.
It gets you at a
Anyway,
point that like your
oh,
brain
listen,
can't
Reddit
think
story.
of like you can't think of what it actually means. It makes you sympathize with it, which makes it hurt more.
I think I agree with that, but I think part of the one for this one specifically is that she's said things that I know I've said before, and I'm pretty sure I've said them to you.
Yeah. I just don't think the term
I may not have
unlovable
gone into detail
should be
about it,
said.
but oh no,
I
I've
also don't
never
think you
said
should say
that.
unlovable because you've n-
I
never
never said
felt
that.
love.
That's nothing
Yeah, well, I'm
I've
just
ever
discussing the
said.
topic of like the
Yeah.
term unlovable. Like I don't think you've ever felt love in a romantic way, so until like I don't know if you know what that feels like, so you do you know what I mean? I think we just need to get you in a
No, I understand
relationship.
what you mean, and I think
I
about
just think
that
we
a
need to get
lot.
you in a relationship.
I well, I don't disagree, but that's something I think about a lot too. Is that like I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't think at least my idea see, I have such like a night I'm like a hopeless romantic in a way, but also for my friendships, and I don't see which this might be like a super toxic trait, but like the way I love in relationships is the same way that I love in friendships. So there's not much difference for me. So like but it changes per person, I guess. Like for me, I love all one way. I don't have different ways of loving people. So like yeah, I don't know.
I'd love to expand on that.
Like what do you mean? Like I think
I don't know. I can't expand on it.
oh, I was like it might just be because the people I've dated also were like my best friends. So for me, there's no like my love is one type of,
Mm.
and you can see it, like even the people, like it's besides my family, like the next person that I love the most in my life right now is probably my best friend. And even her, like I miss text messages, I miss calls, I'm not always present. It's because I don't love in the way that is the traditionally like I'm always there for you. My love is like I'm there when you need me, but I'm also there to help you grow. And you're not going to grow with me by your side. And that's just like that's why I have a hard time being in relationships and maintaining relationships. It's because if you need the person that's always going to be there and always going to answer the call, and um even like if I'm dating someone and they're like I want to talk to you 24/7, I get overwhelmed and flustered. That's like not the way to love me, and that's not the way I give love, and it actually like it deters me from loving people. That
Yeah.
sounds actually psychotic, but because it sounds
I
like you
mean,
want someone that's going to push you away,
I
but
think
I
half the stuff we talk about
yeah,
does.
it well that the way I just explained it makes it sound like I want someone that's going to push me away for me to love them, but it's like I want someone that's going to understand that individual growth is some of the most important growth. At
Yeah.
least while we're dating. I mean, when you're married, I guess it's a little different, but not that marriage is just signing a paper, but I guess in my brain it's a little more, but
I mean, I feel like it's
me too.
different.
I hate people that say I've said it before, but like marriage is just paper. I think marriage is like I don't know, the tying of two souls. Like I'm like if I marry someone, I want
Yeah.
they're mine forever. I don't know. You were gonna say something else before, and I interrupted you.
I don't know at this point. I'm really just kind of contemplating my
No,
life right
don't
now.
contemplate your life.
No, not that kind of contemplate. Contemplating in the sense that I. You told me not to talk about the gym, but I have to talk about it here because I either get up at 6 and go at 6:30 or 6, or I don't know. Maybe I just go for like a walk at lunch. It's the weather tomorrow. Um, but I don't know. It's supposed to be 60 tomorrow. Yeah, maybe I do like a nice little walkie walk at lunch.
Trying to plan out your schedule.
Yes, I said walkie walk.
I
No, I
said
don't
trying to plan
care.
out your schedule.
I'm trying to plan out my schedule so I can actually, sleep a little bit and not have to get up at 6. And practice starts tomorrow,
Ooh.
so 3:30 to 5:30 is just gone for
Yeah.
me.
I'm running into the issue that when I run,
So I
if
can't
I
go at
run
like the
over
4
2 miles,
o'clock.
I have to run outside, but the sun sets so early that I can't figure out how
Mm-hmm.
to be able to run outside and go to the office. And it's like pick or choose. I have to go to the
Yeah.
office. I get paid to do that.
Yeah. Plus, I don't want to go like late at night because at that point it's 5:30. I'd have to go before I ate, and then I'm eating at 7 o'clock at night at the earliest.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I don't want to eat
it
at
sucks
seven
having to
o'clock
plan
at
out your
night.
schedule. It's the definition of adulthood.
I can't tell if you're being
No, I'm
sarcastic or
being
not.
so serious. I hate it more than
Okay.
anything. If I like some days that I have lunch meetings, it just throws someone something throws off my schedule. It messes up my whole day, and then I try to plan around like what am I going to eat? Well, if I eat lunch at 2, then I can't eat dinner at 5, and then I can't go to the gym at 7, and it's like this is something that you shouldn't have to think about, but it stresses me out so much.
You know what I feel like this comes from? At
Having the
least
structure of
for me,
sports.
because that I was gonna say part of that, but part of like okay, we have practice at this time. I have class
Yeah.
here and here. So if we have lift immediately after practice, I'm not going to be able to eat to this time. So in order to make sure that I'm not hungry until this time, I have to make sure I don't eat until now. But I have a class during this period, so I can't eat at that time. So I have to instead eat at this time and then have another snack here, so that way I'm not hungry until
Yeah.
then. And that was not
Yeah, that's what
fun.
I feel like as an adult. Do we want to wrap this episode up?
Yeah, we might as well. We're over an hour, so
I feel like we were
sounds
both
good.
very low energy today and just tired, but
There's just something about it. I mean, I've been
yeah,
trying
I was
not to
gonna say you
cough
sound
half
like you're
this
still getting
time.
over a cold.
I don't even think it was a cold. I think it's allergies. I think my
Ugh.
allergies are hitting me
Ugh.
that
What, the
bad
70-degree weather today?
Not today. So we were talking about it. My mom agrees with me. It's allergies this time and not a cold. We had the dog. We were dog sitting, so he was outside rolling around and stuff. He came in. I didn't really like, take allergy pills at this point because I wasn't feeling anything. I didn't like do anything for my nose or like cleaning my nose out. He came in, so I was. It was like a week with him, and then he left. And like the day he left was the day the weather started to get nice. So I went outside for a nice like hour walk the day after he left, or the day he left, and I went outside for another walk the next day. And then the day after that second walk, I woke up, lost my voice partially, got it back halfway through the day, but that's kind of when it started. And then it got worse the next day,
Yeah.
and then that's just kind
Yeah.
of how it's been.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel, you know how like you get like that like rundown from a cold?
Yeah, like you're exhausted.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that. I got like I just did take a nap on Sunday night last week, but I've not been like that. Like I'm sick and run down kind of like
Yeah.
cold feeling. Like I just every now and then there's a tickle in my throat. My voice is shot. Like my voice has been the worst part. Other than that, if it wasn't for my voice, I don't think I'd have a problem.
Yeah. That's fair.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm just low energy because of everything that's going on in my personal life that I can't talk about on the podcast, and it
Hmm.
just mentally is completely destroying me. So, um, yeah, we'll wrap that up
Yeah,
there. I don't really have an ending besides I really like the flow of the ones where we just like talk randomly and go on random rants.
I do
So,
too.
yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone.